Hello, this is Valerie ILO, and you are listening to IdeaDiary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. I got a little bit distracted today, and somebody asked me to lunch, which always puts my entire day into a weird spot of actually not getting anything done. I've learned to embrace those moments and just make it a day and have lunch. One of the things I did notice while I was out, we all know that a lot of restaurants are having trouble paying rent and keeping customers, or at least filling up. If they're not allowed to fill up their restaurants at a normal capacity, they can't make the normal amount of money that they were making before. And not to mention, people just are cooking at home more and have changed all their habits. So everyone's trying to figure out what to do and how to solve the problems of paying their commercial rent and all that stuff. So I did see 2 restaurants when I was out and about, and they had pop-up restaurants. I didn't go inside, so I didn't really know if they kept the original restaurant as it was, or if they just kind of totally rebranded everything and either rebranded themselves and had kind of a new concept, something new, something exciting, something that would make people come in to try something new with a new brand name, or if they just was sharing their commercial kitchen space and letting another restaurant come and use their facilities because they're already paying this high rent. They already have everything approved with the city. They're already a kitchen. So maybe it's 2 restaurants kind of combining in the same location, and both I feel like are really good ideas. So that was just something that I thought was very interesting and very inspiring and very innovative. And that just kind of made me think of it's really important to disrupt yourself, which was kind of a term that I learned from the Mitch Lowe interviews that I had watched yesterday. So I really like that idea, disrupt yourself. And it's something that I've just kind of always naturally done. If I was making a product, I would make kind of 2 versions of it, the fancy expensive version and the cheaper version, just to not backup plans necessarily, but cover all your bases and to be able to grow in any direction that you need to grow, and also being a future thinker of how things can change, and I guess in that way sort of having backup plans, but also just kind of having more plans no matter how crazy they could be. Just what if the world was this way, or what if the world was that way, what if people wanted to do this instead of this, kind of thinking how things could change and how your brand and your company can change along with that. I don't know, the message of today, I really, I'm feeling pretty positive about creativity and how things are going to change, how much opportunity there might be, even though all of the apocalypse happened and nobody knows what to do quite yet. I do feel like there were already a lot of jobs where people were already working from home, and a lot of jobs that were easily transitional to work from home. And a lot of companies are getting on it and trying to figure out how can they still make money by either making something else or doing things a little bit differently. One of the things that I was just thinking about today was new idea meetings with everyone in the company are so valuable. And that's something I learned how to do working at the first company that I worked at after college and all that, working at a real place, having a real job in a real corporate type of environment. We had new idea meetings with everyone in the company, and that was so valuable. And I think if you haven't implemented new idea meetings in your business, and you still have a business and everything hasn't crashed and burned and fell apart yet, well, I think new idea meetings are something you do when things are falling apart, but also something to do when you're thinking of expanding. and scaling your business and trying new things and making yourself, if you're a solopreneur, making things more streamlined and easier, or making things better for your employees, really making sure everyone's meeting their personal goals and their working goals, and trying new things and not being scared. So I just before recording, I kind of made a list of 4 things to maybe think about when you're having your new idea meeting and you're going for future ideas and expanding ideas and scaling ideas. 4 things that I thought could be good to consider possibly is, number 1, keeping the original stuff that you're doing that are obviously working, or even that worked before but maybe not be working now. Maybe keeping that there, keeping that going in your company, but also adding just something new, something totally different. Disrupt yourself. What would be possibly insane but fun? What would be insane but just valuable? Maybe it's boring, maybe it's exciting, but just adding something new as well as keeping the old stuff. Try something above and beyond anything that you might have never even imagined before. So keeping the old stuff, adding something new. Number 1 thing. Number 2 thing, creating a brand new product, but kind of test it out before you release it to the world. So maybe have only 10 people be able to use a new service. Maybe 100 people, depending on how big your company is. Maybe sell the first 5 to see if people are interested. Maybe just make 1. Kind of have a sales page on your website as a new item that people can pre-order. And people pre-order things a lot of times way far in advance, like a Kickstarter way. People understand that they like something, they want something, and it's going to take you time to build it. But if they invest in it now and it comes in 3 months from now, people still like that. It's not an insane idea to make sure your idea is profitable before you spend a bunch of money on it, or even make it. A lot of people make courses. They sell the course before they even make it, just to make sure there's people who actually want that course. So number 2 thing would be to create a pre-order product. Number 3, write down a huge list of 50 things minimum of new problems that your company can solve. Something that you're not already doing, and write a list of 50 things. They could be totally insane ideas, but I feel like a lot of people think they don't do the list building thing, because a lot of times it might take you like listing out 20 things. Your first thing you list could be a great thing, but by the 20th thing, you might be thinking, this is insanity. Like, this list is the worst list of any list that was ever created. But when you start to get into that 30 number, like I've written down 30 things that are totally useless, totally pointless, boring, not interesting, and lame. But then you start getting into the 35 and 40 and 50. And I think when you're writing down so many things, your brain starts connecting things in a way that is so different than if you were to just stick with that first list of 10 things that you could be doing differently and different problems you could be solving. You might come up with the craziest, weirdest solution to something that you would never even imagine would be in your brain, but it's in there. So, building a list of 50 problems that your company could possibly solve, no matter how crazy. And the 4th thing you could do to think of future ideas, new ideas, something, a Hail Mary that you could try if you're in trouble, is combo with other brands. So I see Etsy doing a lot of that, where they're comboing with popular bloggers. I see a lot of the makeup gurus on YouTube where they're, obviously comboing with brands. It's easier to make a palette or make a makeup product with an already established makeup maker. So there's some really obvious brand combos that you could do, but there's also weird combos that you could do, like joining with a competitor because y'all are both in a little bit of trouble. But if y'all combine forces, you're going to combine your customer base. You're going to possibly grow bigger and create an even better solution and make even more money on both ends. Maybe think of things that you would have never have thought of would be valuable in a million years. Maybe you're in the same shopping center with another brand and you can think of a combo product and working together in a way that you would never have thought of before, but because of the serious situation of things, you're open to trying new things. It's interesting and new and innovative and possibly fun, or maybe it's just boring but valuable. The 4 things that I think you should do if you're trying to figure out what to do next and how you can disrupt your business into growing and scaling and being innovative and making even more money than you did before the apocalypse. Keep the old stuff, but add new stuff. Try a pre-order product. Make a huge list of new problems that you could solve of at least 50 things. And think about ways you could combo with another business, another brand, another anything. Just what can you do to innovate and scale and keep growing? So I guess that's the show for today. I know maybe not so exciting, but I feel like I did learn something today, even though I didn't get much done. I went out and about. I had a nice lunch outside. I had an awesome coffee. I went shopping in this one store, and I bought this piece of decor, which I never buy, but this would be a perfect thing to go on top of my record player. I have one of those vintage giant kind of credenza cabinet record players, mid-century modern thing. I'm kind of a poster on the wall kind of person, kind of a simple. I'm just not that great at interior design necessarily. However, I do like anything that's kind of 50s, 60s, space age, bachelor pad, kind of vintage space, Jetsons vibe. And this was $12 and it definitely had that vibe. And I'm going to put it on my record player. So bought some decor, which is a rare thing today. But it felt good to be out and have some lunch and spend a little bit of money in my neighborhood. Hope you're having a great day and not feeling so down. And maybe I gave you some positive thoughts to maybe think about growing your business, whatever it is. So I guess that's the show. I still don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.